Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day so far. I meant to put this video out yesterday, but I was having some technical difficulties with my recording device, so I was unable to do that. So so here it is. So anyhow, welcome to Freeport, Florida, which is located in the Florida Panhandle in the northwest Florida region. And Freeport, Florida is it's a small city that has been constantly growing ever since they began to record the census here, I believe, in 1970. The population here is currently sitting at 5,861 people. And the population, and this is as of 2022. And the population as of 2022 has grown a whopping 200 and, you know what, I'll take that back. The population of 5,861 people is as of the 2020 census. My apologies. And the population from 2010 to 2020 has grown by a whopping 228%. I think with this rate of growth, it's safe to say this city is not going to stay small. It's going to become like many other Florida cities. It's going to be super crowded, and as you guys will find out later in the video, housing prices are already up there in price. So I would say, if you really want to live in Florida that bad and you're looking to live in this region of Florida, you might want to get in now before it gets too expensive for you. And even when you get in now, understand that everything will go up in price, all the way from your homeowner's insurance to property taxes and all that jazz. I'm pretty sure many of you I'm sure many of you are aware of all the shenanigans that have been going on in many parts of the United States, especially states like Florida, with the homeowner's insurance. So anyways, the population here, now as of 2022, just to show you guys how much this community is growing. And by the way, I'm currently driving through one of the newer apartment. I think these are condos. I'm driving through one of the newer apartment / condominium communities right now. That's what you guys are looking at right now. So anyways, as of 2022, just to show you how much this community continues to grow, the population as of now, as I speak, the population, at least as of 2022, sits at 6,542 people. And from 2020 to 2022, the population has grown 11.6%. Now, back during the 2010 census, the population was only at 1,787 people. Now, when they began to record the census here back in 1970, the population was only sitting at 518 people. And the growth every census year has always been in the double-digit percentage, just with the exception of 2020 when it grew 228%. And the racial demographics here are 80% white, 2.6% black, 1.2% Asian, and 10% Hispanic. Those are going to be the largest ethnic groups that live here in Freeport. And I think other than the fact that this is instead of Florida, and a lot of people are moving here due to its climate and due to the proximity to the beaches. I mean, back in the day, it could be said that people were also moving here because housing prices were cheap. Well, obviously, as many of you realize, that's not no more. I mean, granted, if you compare Florida to maybe some of your states in the Northeast, or you compare Florida to many places in, let's say, California, yeah, it is cheaper. But, if you compare Florida to the average state, Florida is no longer cheap. But people keep moving here because, hey, you got the beaches, you got the warm climate. For even here in North Florida, it stays warm for the majority of the year. I mean, even during the winter time, like even during the month of January, which is typically the coldest month of the year in the country. I mean, down here you're not gonna see temperatures much. I mean, I was like during the day, during the winter in January, you're typically not gonna see temperatures much lower than 60 degrees. Now, there will be days up here where, yeah, you might wake up and the temperature might be 45. But for the most part, temperatures in this region of Florida aren't going to get much lower than 60 degrees. And that's going to be a typical winter day here. And of course, you'll have an abundance of sun. So granted, it's not going to be as warm as Central or South Florida. And the beaches up here, well, the beaches in this region of Florida may not be as nice as the beaches in South Florida, but you still got the beaches. I mean, so, anyways. And I think, and here's some of the reasons why I think Freeport is growing at the rate it's growing. I mean, you're only 28 miles away from Destin. So if you travel southwest of here, less than 30 miles, you'll be in Destin, Florida. Now, if you want to see my Destin, Florida video, it's on this channel. Feel free to check it out. And 36 miles southwest of here, you also got Walton Beach. Now, I believe I got Walton Beach on this channel. I believe I do. Feel free to check it out. And you're only 23 miles west. If you go 23 miles west of here, you'll be in Niceville, which I got that city on the channel too. So go check it out if you desire. And Crestview is 45 minutes away. It's 45 minutes northwest of here. So whatever amenities you don't find here in Freeport, I would say within a half hour of here, or depending on traffic, within, I'll just say 45 minutes of here, you will find most everything you need as far as your basic amenities are concerned. And just a little bit of let's see what I was going to say. Yeah, here's what I was going to say. Now, many people that are moving here to Freeport are serving in the United States Air Force. Now, there's an Air Force base located in Valparaiso, Florida, which that video will be coming up. And Valparaiso, Florida, I think that's how you say it. I'm gonna look it up in a minute. But Valparaiso, Florida, is only about, it's only a few minutes away from here. It's not far from here at all. You go a few miles down the road, you'll be in Valparaiso, Florida. And again, I'm gonna look up how to properly pronounce it. That way, when I make that video, I don't continue to butcher how that city is pronounced. But just a few miles down the road, you have the Eglin military base, which is the United States Air Force. So you got a lot of people living here due to the military. So between some of the tourism and people from up north moving here, and I'm pretty sure you get some snowbirds that come here and they have a second home up here or down here. So I'm gonna speculate that most likely those are gonna be the kind of people at this point that are going to make up the population here in Freeport. And as far as it goes for crime, your crime rate is 21.71 people per 1,000 people, which is 71% lower than the national average. That's for overall crime. Your violent crime is 1.7 per 1,000 people, which is well below national average. And your property crime is fairly low. It's only at 1.7 people per 1,000 people. So crime here is fairly low. And for what you're going to pay for housing here, one would hope so. Now, the median home price here is currently sitting at $428,000. And in a second, I'm going to look up to see if there's not anything cheaper. Now, your median rent price for an apartment is $1,637 a month. Your median rent price for if you're looking to rent a house is $2,300. So housing is a bit pricey. And again, it's not going to be as expensive as Central or South Florida, but as I said earlier in the video, you will pay more money for housing here in Florida than you will in many other states at this point. Now I'm going to go on realtor.com and I'm going to see if there's any houses that you can purchase. I'm going to see what the cheapest house you can purchase is. So I'm going to go ahead and, you're not going to see this. I'm doing this from another computer. Alright folks, the good news, for those of you that are looking to move here to Freeport, the good news is, at least according to realtor.com, there is about 380 houses that are currently for sale. Now the cheapest house that you're going to be able to buy in Freeport will run you $212,000. And then the next cheapest house is $225,000. And both the houses do come on about a half acre, which is a pretty decent amount of land, taking into consideration that you're in the state of Florida. But then after that $225,000, the price goes all the way up to $295,000. And at that point, all the houses that are at $295 to $320 grand are all newer construction, and all of those houses are currently pending contracts. So that the next one that Realtor.com shows that's available is priced at $319,000, and the house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a little over 1,300 square feet, and the lot size is a measly 4,792 square feet, and the house is new construction. And then from that point, so basically, if you're looking to move to Freeport and you're looking to have some choices in terms of what type of house you want to buy, you might want to come here with at least, I'm going to say, $350,000. Because if you come here and you're only looking to pay, let's say, $250 grand, I mean, yeah, there are some houses right now available for that price, but if I was a betting person, even though the housing market is on the decline, even though the housing market for the most part is on the decline, I would say at those lower prices, because in Florida, 200 and some grand is low. So I would say for those lower prices, and the fact that Freeport is an area in high demand, I would say there's a decent chance that you might get involved in a bidding war with another person. So if you're looking to move here to Freeport, you might want to have at least $350,000 to spend on a house. That's my opinion. And even at that, there's still a good chance that you might end up in a bidding war with someone. Now we're going to jump over to niche, and we're going to read a few comments about what other people think of Freeport. So, if you're new to the channel, well, let me back up. Now, there's 17 comments on niche for Freeport, and the city has a 3.5 out of a 5-star rating. 3 people gave the city an excellent, 5 people gave the city a very good, 6 people gave the city an average, 3 people gave the city a poor rating, and no one gave it a terrible. If you're new to the channel, I typically read about a couple of comments per category. I start with the 5 stars, and I work myself down from that point. So we're going to start with 5 stars. Okay, this first one was written in October of 2022. 5 stars. Freeport is a growing town close to some of the best beaches in Florida. It's a great place to raise a family and an easy commute to Eglin Air Force Base. I think that's how I pronounce it. For those in the military. There are some popular housing developments such as Hammock Bay, which is a family-friendly community with pools and its own general store. Okay, another 5-star. This one was written in April 2018. It's a little older. Moving from Texas to Santa Rosa Beach and then to Freeport. I have found a forever home in which I will always feel welcome to return to. I have met so many kind and friendly faces that have shared so much wisdom with me about the town and overall life occurrences. I love this city and the people who inhabit it. No matter where I go, I know I'm always welcome back. Okay, that's nice to know. My question is how much longer is how much longer is that gonna remain with all the people coming in? Because sometimes you take a little city like this and it starts growing a whole bunch. You get some people in there that are not, they're not the nicest people. I'll just put it like that. So hopefully this city stays, nice and friendly with the Southern hospitality. Hopefully it stays like that for those of you that choose to live in Freeport. Okay, we're going to jump down to very good. Okay, this is my first 4-star comment written 7 months ago. I just moved here from my very diverse town of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. This small town is a complete opposite of that. Everyone is close knit here and knows each other for good, not just bad. Freeport is slowly starting to industrialize, and not everyone sees it as a good thing. It's a small, woodsy town, and most of the citizens born and raised here would like to keep it that way. Well, unfortunately, most likely it's not going to stay that way because Freeport is growing faster than weeds during. Freeport is growing crazy fast, so most likely it's not going to stay that way. Here's another 4-star comment. This one was written April of 2021. This town is the perfect spot between Panama City and Fort Walton Beach. It beats the traffic you see on 98 to give you easy commute in both directions by using the road 20. Not a lot of resources here yet, but it is growing. A small drive 30 minutes will get you into Dustin, and also a small drive of 40 minutes will get you to Panama City Beach, which you can get the best of both worlds. We are 25 minutes away from the most beautiful beach in the United States, Grayton Beach. I am looking forward to watch this town grow. Okay, we're going to jump down to average. Okay, this is going to be my first 3-star comment written in February of 2021. I live in Hammock Bay, which is a very nice with beautiful homes and a lot of wildlife. However, the surrounding area isn't as nice and there aren't many things to do. All of the closest restaurants and activities are located in Destin, which is about 30 to 45 minutes away. Okay, here's another 3-star. Decent town, is starting to catch up with the times. Has updated grocery stores and plans for future businesses. Now that comment was written June of 2020. And I'll read one more. 3-star. Now this one was written March of 2020. People are super friendly. I love the Publix here. Just wish there were more dining options. More sit-down restaurants, not just fast food. Alrighty. Now for the 2 stars. This first one was written February of 2020. The town of Freeport has nothing to do. However, they are renovating it and increasing the places for food. The schools here are okay. I would prefer Santa Rosa Beach schools, a town away for K to 12. And okay, this next one is another 2-star written April of 2019. Freeport is a small rural town with very little to offer. I have lived here for 17 years and can honestly say it is rather boring. Alright folks, that's going to do it for the commentary. And all I got to say on this one is, for those of you that currently reside in Freeport, for those of you that currently reside in Freeport, enjoy the natural beauty that the city currently offers, because I would say in another 5 years, a lot of it will disappear due to developments. So enjoy the natural beauty while you have it, because a lot of it's probably not going to be around within the next 5 years. And for those of you that are just barely hanging on financially and you're living here in Freeport, you might even want to consider looking for another place to reside, because most likely, whether you're renting or you're purchasing, your housing prices are going to go up substantially. But outside of those things, I will say right now, as it stands, Freeport does have a lot of nice, quiet, rural areas right now. And if I was a resident of Freeport, I would love for those areas to stay rural. Keep the greenery, keep the open land, keep the open spaces. But I got a feeling that developers are gonna they're gonna smell money, and this city is gonna turn into a typical city. It's going to turn into a typical touristy community. Alright folks, that's all I got to say on this one. So if you like what I do on this channel and you want to support it, all you got to do is give videos like this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do so. I don't know what you're waiting for. And on that note, stay blessed. I'll catch you all on the next one.